Hi, this is Nat, and video game journalism has been more under threat and under fire than at any time in its recent and relatively brief history. And increasingly it is underfunded as well, with advertisers less eager to spend for ad space and ad block hiding many that do take the risk. Allegations of corruption, collusion and agenda peddling are frequent, coming in as often as every few days, and it can seem as though in the cutthroat world of games journalism there are only pirates and privateers. Indeed, many of the concerns of the audience at large are wholly justified, and the continued resistance of traditional games journalism to change has cemented the resent and mistrust of an audience already shifting its attention to places like YouTube. So what are the biggest issues facing games journalism, and can they steer the ship away from the rocks before it's too late? One of the most frequent complaints about video games journalism is that it is not objective, that too much of the reviewer comes through. Objectivity is elusive. I do not believe we are capable of being wholly objective. There is too much that ties our ability to discern quality to our own experiences, and even the language we use leaves us predisposed to phrase things in particular ways. I always like to refer to Wittgenstein's notion of private language, which is admittedly a bit of a tangent, but I'm going somewhere with this, so just bear with me. The idea of private language is basically that we are incapable of ever truly knowing what someone means, no matter how simply they may explain themselves. We are tied to limitations of our own experiences and our own personal understanding of each word we know. Take for instance the phrase, "I love games." Never mind the many different interpretations and intensities of love we could divine from that phrase. The word games is the one I'm interested in here. When I say the phrase, "I love games," what do you think of? A selection of SNES carts in a messy room? A dusty old Commodore 64? Your Steam library? It may seem like a fairly minor point, but it means that when I say that, or any other phrase, the only thing that you really know is what you already understand by the words I use. Now apply that to reviews, and objectivity in both the language used and the opinion being expounded seems an utterly preposterous notion. And yet it's not. No, we cannot attain a truly objective view of things, but that should not deter us from striving for it. The notion of objectivity should not be held as an empirical truth, but a goal that we work towards. So let's all agree to work towards unobtainable but inspiring objectivity in our reviews of games, unless your objectivity is different to my objectivity. In recent years, in response to the concerns and needs of the ever-growing number of Christian gamers, a number of sites have sprung up to review games and offer guidance around the ultimate suitability of titles. Sometimes the reviews on these sites will break down their analysis into a game score and a separate Christian score, as a way of acknowledging that although a game is well made and fun technological accomplishment, it places the player in morally reprehensible situations or is littered with profane language. And it's not just Christian game sites. There are family-oriented gaming sites that take into consideration whether the entertainment is safe and suitable to enjoy with or within earshot of children of all ages. Playing as the not-so-lone wanderer in Fallout 3 and developing a crippling addiction to mentats and alcoholism may not be something parents want their children to witness, and their vocabulary expanded through a playthrough of Crysis 2 could lead to an uncomfortable social faux pas. These are concerns I've witnessed with Rocksteady's Arkham games. The son of a friend has inherited his father's appreciation of Batman, and although the Bat pummels slugs left and right in comics and cartoons, the more visceral and player-controlled nature of the Arkham series is something that my friend doesn't think his son is ready for. Perching atop a gargoyle, watching the erratic heartbeats of glowing blue skeletons, and watching for the opportunity to beat them as close to death as Batman's code will allow, and Poison Ivy being all Poison Ivy. The same gritty, dark, and indeed mature nature of these games' portrayal of Batman that attracted our attention in the first place can also be part of the reason some people do not want to play them. Or maybe they do want to play them, but still have to make wild claims that it is always sold out. Let's jump from talk of Wittgenstein and Batman and onto the great poet and philosopher that is Trevor Phillips. With GTA 5 finally out on PC, I've taken another tour through Rockstar's Los Santos. However, much like myself, the game has had more than a few issues over the last couple of weeks. Before I go any further, I need to make it abundantly clear that GTA 5 on PC is great, and unless you've been living under a rock, you probably already know that. It's been out since 2013, and it's only got better since then. Unless, of course, you have encountered any of the bugs. Overall, it comes across as a job interview, where despite the obvious sniffing and coughing of a flu, we know that the candidate is the best person for the job, qualified more than Stephen Hawking, and capable beyond Reddit air. So any pretense of critique is set to one side, and the buggy nature of the game is ignored, so that reviewers can fawn over this game they knew was great in 2013. Will the reviewers take the bugs into account in their conclusions? Bugs which continue to be patched out even as I make this video? Probably not. It would neither be a fair reflection of most people's experience with the game, nor would it be a relevant criticism in a week's time. So instead they'll just post a positive review, encouraging more people to buy the game, and some of them will encounter these bugs and issues until they're fixed off the back of that review. A major part of this problem is the lumbering nature of the traditional gaming press. These are sites who by design and tradition are accustomed to covering console releases. And by console releases I mean console titles on machines prior to the Xbox 360 and PS3, a time when the game you bought would not be corrected by patches. It was a misty-eyed time of meaningful exclusives, diverse controllers, when a review score could be justified as the game wouldn't be changing anytime soon. PC gaming is itself part of the problem. It is a fluid platform of limitless options and the very lack of some homogenized structure that is the great strength of PC gaming. Allowing almost anyone with a machine to have some kind of experience nonetheless presents a difficulty for reviewers. What presets do they review the game at? Is it worthwhile to post a general review aimed at a mass audience when you're sporting a couple of Titans and playing at 4K resolution, when most people won't have machines capable of reaching that? It's interesting to note that at the bottom of the GTA review on PC Gamer, that the top comments are not discussing the merits of the game, nor the content of the review, but inquiring if their machines can handle the game at a decent quality. And so I would have to question the usefulness of a review absent of these details. We are Dinoslippers USB. The second part of this look at games journalism will be up soon. Be sure to check back for it, and thanks for watching.